Good morning, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery, here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio, here to record this week's syndicated Outdoor Magazine radio show. Heard on more than 30 stations across the great state of Michigan. I was not in the studio last week because I was in White River, Ontario, Canada on a bear hunt. So it feels good to be back here. Good morning, Cliff. There you go. Good morning, Cliff. How are you? Always a pleasure to have you along with us, a regular and loyal viewer. I do appreciate that. Looks like it's going to be a nice day in our part of the world. Hey, Craig, how you doing, buddy? I talked to Ed yesterday. I need to follow up with you as well. Looks like my new boat's ready, although I don't know when I'm going to have my hands on it. Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer. Good morning, buddy. Mad Jack. Speaking of Ed, there's Ed right there. And where's Kevin? I saw Kevin here. I want to make sure I say hi to him. Hello, Kevin. Captain Jim, how you doing, buddy? Don't you love that, Captain? Bruce is with us. Kevin's with Kevin. Yeah, listen, thanks for the video. That was very, very cool. Of course, you have I don't remember. I mean, the big question is, did that sturgeon make it? And I think I remember you saying you don't know. Matt, congrats on being, and I didn't respond to you earlier. I apologize. Congrats on being named the Michigan Predator Hunters Caller of the Year, Matt. That's a big deal. Might have to do that. Craig. That's one of the options. Either we do it now with the old boat, we wait and do it with the new boat during the fall, or we wait until next year. It's up to you guys. Mike, what day is it? It's hump day. There, we got that out of our system. Chuck, good morning. Mike checking in, mile marker 240. Joel, nice to have you along with us. Oh, Johnny, you're killing me with those pictures, man. Sean, didn't you just send me an email? I think you did. I responded with Captain Mel Stackpool's number. If I'm not getting confused here, if maybe it was a different Sean. If so, I apologize. Bucks will be coming out of the velvet. I've already seen some pictures of bucks of hard. They call it hard horned, right? That's good deal, Sean. They call it hard horned, but horn is not the correct term because a horn would be like a sheep or a cow that never lose their horns. If they lose them, they're antlers. So I understand what hard horned means, and it's too hard to say hard antlered. So yeah, I get it. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. Some giants going down in the Red Oak District this year. I think you're right. Tim, how are things in Clarkston this morning? Nice to have you along with us. Ross will be hunting with Johnny in a couple of weeks. Listen, I'm always extremely happy and excited to go up and hunt with Ron St. Louis of Northern Wilderness Bear. Oh, thank you, John. Fall turkey tags. I need to get mine. Thank you. Yes, you are Hunter Joe for now. Oh, is that what it is? Horns are hollow. Thank you. Thank you for that distinction. Yes, for now. Ron St. Louis was telling me that they think maybe in September they will drop that mandate. But for now, you've got to have the shot. Good morning, Gary. How are you? Thanks for joining me on this edition of Behind the Mic. I already asked him that. He said he's feeling good, but I don't believe him, Ed. Oh, no. You had a fire at the house, Laura. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm assuming everybody's okay at least, right? I'm so sorry to hear that, Laura. My grandparents had a house fire when I was a kid. I know how devastating that is. Oh. So it was nice to get back up there and hunt with Ron St. Louis. I didn't take a bear, but remember I told you going up there that I wasn't necessarily going there to shoot a bear. I was going there to go bear hunting, and I would have to have a very big black colored bear in front of me or a different colored black bear in front of me. That never happened. In fact, I only saw one bear. The cool thing is, and I did post video of it, that bear came up and looked in the blind at me, which was pretty cool. Okay. Is there anything on the horizon to reduce licensing fees for those of us who own land in Michigan who pay land taxes but live out of state? No, nothing in the works, Wayne. Nothing in the works. Nothing I've heard of. Now, that's not saying that it's not going on, but I might have heard about it and I haven't heard a thing. So the White River hunt is out of the way. I don't want to say out of the way. Done till next year. I'll go back up again next year. Absolutely. Don't know if I'll do a spring or a fall hunt. Probably will do a fall hunt again because that spring hunt gets in the way of my fishing. And that walleye season on Saginaw Bay, that summertime season is so short that I really don't want to cut into that. So, but I do have a hunt coming up with Johnny Bowler. I sighted in my new Brenton 350 yesterday at Duncan's. Very nice rifle. It did make me realize that I need to spend more time with that gun and with the AR platform. All right, Martin's going out for perch. This is what I want to talk about too. Martin, give me some perch fishing tips because I stink at perch fishing. I can't find them. I can't catch them. So help me out, Martin. Where would a person start? What depth of water? I'll get to that in a minute, Cliff. I'll get to that in a minute, but thanks for the reminder. Ross says he's already looking forward to going back to White River next year. Absolutely. Johnny says if they drop the vaccination mandate that he's going to go up there. That'd be cool to have Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer, getting fish a little on the bay now. I've seen some good pictures of some nice catches. And especially since the new Angler Quest is, well, Brad says your boat is ready. Now, I don't know if that means it's ready without a motor or with a motor, because our original plan was to take the motor, the 300 Merc, off the boat I have now and swap it over to the new boat. So I don't know yet what's going to happen. Michael, you're late. I already said what day it is. And Pat probably heard me in the next studio. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to learn it, Martin. I'd like to learn how to perch fish, and that Angler Quest is a perfect platform to perch fish from. Anyway, I went to Duncan's yesterday. I sighted in that new 350, and it made me realize I don't want to say I'm uncomfortable with the gun because that's not the case at all, but I'm unfamiliar with the AR platform, and so I need to spend more time with it and just learn the subtleties, the nuances, the ins and outs, and just so it's like second nature. So it's just an extension of my hand. Tim's got a 200 yards and a new shooting table. Nice, Tim. Nice. I shot 200 yards yesterday. I started at Duncan's at the 25, 50, 100, and 200. And the scope that I have on that Brenton right now is a very nice Leupold scope, but it's a 1x5. And I got the Brenton USA 350, Joel. I got the 350. And at 200 yards with that 5-power scope, it was hard for me to zoom in far enough to really get a good look at the target. At 100 yards, I was dead on because I could see the target. But at 200 yards, it was hard to see the target. First hunt in September. Excellent, Deb. Have fun. Yeah, I'm really excited about the spending more time because I'm going to use that. Well, first of all, my grandson Carter is going to use it for the youth hunt in a couple of weeks. I'm going to use it for my Michigan bear hunt. That is far, Tim, and you're not as old as I am. But, realistically, I was telling Dave there at Duncan's, honestly, I don't see myself shooting past 100 yards. Brent's been putting Vortex on his. You like them, Brent? This is the first Leupold I've ever had. They're a little pricey for me, but it's a nice scope. It's just not. I don't think it's the best scope I could put on that gun. It's a great choice for the youth hunt and my bear hunt. Joe, good morning. How are you? Joe, I told you we have a list. We have our first interviews scheduled tomorrow night. We're going to start interviewing tomorrow night. Greg. Finally got out of the hospital. Been a rough 7 months. Oh, man. No more than 50. No more than 50 for your bear. Yeah, that's a good distance. I'd just soon shoot a whitetail even with a gun at 50. Chad, I think that's a good choice. He'll be using his 450 for his bear hunt in September. If anything, I think the 350 may be a touch small for bear. It'll do the job if I do the job. I think it's a touch small, but I got that as a compromise. 450's got a lot of recoil. Not that I'm recoil shy, but my grandson's going to be using it. And I think the 350 is a good all-purpose round. We're going to find out, aren't we? Brandon, perch are heating up in St. Clair, north end of the dumps and the bee buoy. That's what I'm looking for, Brandon. I want to fish perch on the bay this year because I hopefully will have my new boat to do some perch fishing. And the Angler Quest is a great boat to perch fish from, but I don't know how to perch. I mean, I know how to perch fish, but I'm not very good at catching them. North end of the dumps and bee buoy. Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that. Ross is going to be hunting with his old Henry 4570. That should be a good bear gun. I believe so, Jeff. Brent says he got Noel on a 350. It's a good gun. Daryl says the only problem with a 350 in bear hunting is a poor blood trail. I've never shot a bear with a gun, Daryl, but I feel like any gun other than a Magnum, you get the chance of leaving a poor blood trail, right? That's why I actually like to bear hunt with a bow, but I'm going to be doing it with a gun this time. Joe says it's almost goose season. He calls them flying rats. Joe, why do you call them flying rats? You know what I think? There are rats, which are four-legged rodents. There are flying rats, also called seagulls. And then there are big flying rats, which are known as Canada geese. They're not Canadian geese because they don't have a passport. They're Canada geese. Good morning, Deborah. How are you? Brandon says the cigar is his favorite perch spot on Saginaw Bay. The cigar is the favorite thing to smoke while I'm fishing. Johnny says when I drop them in my tracks, I won't have to look for a blood trail. See, I'm not worried about a blood trail because I have the bear whisperer, Johnny Bowler. And if I hit a bear and it runs off, I'm going to duck behind Johnny and just follow Johnny. And I don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun Johnny. Not sure I can do that, though. Seagulls are the government's flying rats. That's a good one. That's a really good one. If you, Uncle Sam's trash can. Very true. It's that kind of humor that it would have made you fit in very well at Trinity. I'm not giving up. Well, I have given up. I know it's not your place, but for any rifle, if the fat plugs the hole, it doesn't matter what you use to have to look for more than blood. See, I got Johnny Bowler, the bear whisperer. I figure if I hit a bear and it runs off and there's no blood trail, Johnny will get down on his hands and knees and he will sniff out the scent of the bear. Just need to find the right to stop it. The 180 grain should be good. Have I ever considered bear hunting in Rapid River? No, because I got Johnny Bowler over in Newberry. Deb, you'd be surprised. I'm walking 3.5 to 4 miles a day. I'm still 90 pounds lighter. When I do my walk, sometimes I break into a run, a jog, a slow jog. I think I could outrun some people. Johnny, maybe not. Johnny's like an old hound dog. He'll find your bear. Ben says they go 20 yards if they're hit good. I'll tell you this, Ben. I have no experience hunting bears with a gun, but I can tell you quite a bit about hunting them with a bow. And if you put a good shot on a bear with a bow, you're going to watch them die. They'll die within sight, or they'll die. You'll hear them die. I mean, if you put a good shot on a bear with a broadhead, they don't go far. Captain Jim says, latest reports for perch on the bay, 14 feet of water straight out of Pinconning. You're right, Ross, not for long. Biggest bears in Michigan. Well, we're going to find out this fall, aren't we, Ben? Yeah, you still have to be the slowest guy. You get a bear, runs towards camp, runs toward the road, run towards the truck, right? All right. Let me tell you who's on the show this week. By the way, my name is Mike Avery. I'm here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio in preparation to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. Here's who's coming up on this show. The first person, Eric Skeeter Beckman. He's from Brenton Arms. He is announcing that Brenton USA hunting rifles are now in Jay's Sporting Goods, in the Claire store and the Gaylord store. You've heard me talk about these things. If you want to see them in person now, go to Jay's Sporting Goods, Claire, or Gaylord. Then Ed Roy of the Michigan Wildlife Council. In our second hour, a subject that I have been getting a lot of grief that I haven't talked about yet, so I'm going to talk about it now. The proposed Camp Grayling expansion. Jason Teddy is going to join me to talk about that. Now, Jason's an interesting guy. He's not some bleeding anti-military liberal. He's a retired lieutenant state police post commander. He worked at Camp Grayling, and he's a combat veteran. So I think he will have an interesting perspective. Then Justin Tomei from MUCC and this week's Ask Avery question. I got a couple of them in mind. In our third hour, 5 minutes, Pat? 5 minutes, let's do it right now. All right. In our third hour, Jeff Poet of Jay's Sporting Goods, but he's joining me to talk about a hunt that he just did in Alaska where he shot this beautiful sheep. Is it a doll sheep? I think it's a doll sheep. Absolutely beautiful. He'll talk about that and more. And of course, we'll wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. I think he's got a salmon recipe. Okay, shot 2 bear with a bow. Neither made it past 40 yards. Good shot is the key. Absolutely. And I'll tell you this. You gut shoot a bear with a bow and you got your hands full. I've done that once and I would prefer never to do it again. On that hunt, when I gut shot this bear, we recovered him. But it involved literally getting on my hands and knees in some really, really thick stuff. I couldn't see more than 5 yards in front of me. I'm on my hands and knees, and I can see where the bear had bedded down and bled, and then he'd get up and go a few yards and lay down again. We were pushing him. I'm on my hands and knees, going through the bush, and I look up, and the bear is bedded there looking at me. And he's about 3 yards away. Fortunately, he was in such rough shape that all he could do was lay there. But it did get my attention. Morning, Bob. How are you? Thanks for joining me on Behind the Mic. Good morning, Mike. I got a hold of people at Primal Tree Stands early to mid-September for the live hunting camera. I'm first in line. No, you're not, John. You're second in line because I already have mine and I've used it. And I'm going to post a video about that here maybe today. All right, Ross, go sell some trucks. Ed, good luck on the food plots. All right, Eli, have fun at work. You doing the show, Pat? Doing the show. Also today, we're going to record a Polar Craft podcast with Polar Craft's newest pro staffers. It's a husband and wife team. And to be honest with you, I don't have it in front of me now. Sorry. They're salmon fishermen, they're walleye fishermen, and they are duck hunters. On Point Outdoors checking in. Good morning, On Point. How are you? Dave, nice to have you along with us. Always a pleasure. I don't think we've talked in a while, have we, David? Tonight, 7 o'clock, we'll do another edition of Wednesday Night Live. Next Wednesday, Amy Trotter of MUCC will be joining me for Wednesday Night Live. Talking about some of the key issues facing our state right now. Good morning, Tim. I have to respond to this text. Sorry. Sell, please. Okay. All right. In just a couple of minutes here, well, not a couple of minutes, a few seconds here. Doing something today. Jason Teddy reached out to me to see the friend of the background perspective. Okay. Okay. All right. So I got to quit screwing around here. Well, this is a live look behind the scenes, right? I've never said anything other than this. A timer, 12. Oh, that's a wrong time right there. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Let me change this one here. Let me delete that one. Add one that is 13 minutes. Okay, and then change the order. Okay. 15. Hey, Lance, how you doing, buddy? Bernie's going golfing. Good for you, Bernie. We've been golfing this year. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. All right, my friends, I got to go to work. I know you can't call this work. I get it. I'm keenly aware of that, and I am blessed that that is the case. So I'm going to record the first segment of the show as I continue this live feed. So you're more than welcome to stick around and watch. I will not be able to directly interact with you. I won't be able to answer your questions because I'm going to be doing the radio thing. But I will be back here tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. Hoping you can join me then. In the meantime, have a great day. It looks like it's going to be a warm day. Stay cool, my friends. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine show right here on the Outdoor Magazine Radio Network. So glad to have you along with us. So glad to be back in the studio. I wasn't in the studio last week, and I missed it. I really did. You know, people talk about retirement. If I didn't do this, I would really miss it. I don't know what I would do. I'd probably bore my wife to death because we'd be sitting at the kitchen table and I'd be talking about hunting and fishing and shooting and trapping. And she'd say, why don't you go back to work? Because you're driving me crazy. I wasn't here because I was in White River, Ontario, Canada, on a bear hunt with Ron St. Louis. Now, this is something I've been talking about for a couple of weeks on the show. Long story short, I had a great hunt. I had a wonderful hunt. It was a lot of fun. And I didn't get a bear. And that wasn't a surprise. I told you going up there, I wasn't going up there to shoot a bear. I was going up there on a bear hunt. I was going up there to see my friends in White River. I was going up there to see some beautiful country. I was going up there to hopefully have some close-up interactions with bears. And it was going to have to be just the right bear for me to let an arrow fly out of that dart and crossbow. It was going to have to be a black colored bear of about 300 pounds or so, or it was going to have to be a different color black bear. And I didn't see either one of those. So I came home without a bear. And that's okay. In fact, I hunted 3 days. I only saw one bear. It was a sow, probably 175-ish pounds, maybe 200 pounds, just an average, respectable bear. Certainly a fine target for anybody who wanted to take it. In my case, I've taken enough bears that I really wasn't interested in something like that. Plus, I've got my Michigan bear hunt coming up. I didn't want 2 bears in the freezer. But this bear did treat me to something that I always look forward to. Now, when I bear hunt, I hunt out of a ground blind. I don't go up in a tree stand. I like to be at eye level. I like to be at ground level while I'm bear hunting, and preferably close so I can see them and listen to them and watch them. And I just love that part of bear hunting. Well, this particular bear gave me quite a treat. I say she was a sow just from the shape of her body, and I'm quite convinced it was a sow. Didn't have cubs, just a lone sow came in. She came into the bait, and she's looking over at me in the blind. She's looking at the blind, right? I have shot very few bears that I feel didn't know I was there. In fact, I might be able to make the statement every bear I've ever shot, I believe, knew I was there, but they made the decision to come in anyway. So this sow comes in about 7:30 in the evening, comes into the bait. She's a little skittish, which actually made me feel good because I thought, okay, if she's hinky, there's a bigger bear around here somewhere. She came into the bait. She circled around it. She looked at it. She didn't tip it over. And then she disappeared. I thought she'll come back, or a bigger bear has run her off and I just haven't seen the bigger bear yet. About 10 seconds later, and all right, so I'm sitting in this Wraith see-through ground blind, the one from Primal that I love so much. And I love it because you can see out the sides of it, but the critters can't see in. Out of the side of this bait, I see this bear walking up to the blind. She's curious. Bears don't have great eyesight. They rely on a sense of smell. She knew something was in that blind, right? She didn't know what it was. She's curious. She's not aggressive. She's not dangerous. She's just cool and beautiful. And bears do not make a sound. It's amazing to me how a 200-300-pound animal can walk through the woods and not make a sound. Deer will make noise when they come through the woods. Bears don't make any noise. So she comes up to the blind. She's looking in the blind. I had just enough notice that she was coming because I was in that see-through Wraith that I was able to take the camera, the video camera, and pan it to the left just a little bit. So she walked into the frame. She's standing in front of me in the blind. She kept walking up to the blind. I've got the whole thing on camera. She got as close as about 6 feet. So I'm sitting in my blind. I'm looking out the front of the blind, and 6 feet in front of me, looking in the blind, is a beautiful Canada black bear. That is the type of experience that I wanted to have when I went up to White River. I've had this happen before. It's not uncommon. And that's one of the reasons why I like hunting from a ground blind. It's that close-up, intimate interaction with the bears. Now, the first time it happened, it made me a little nervous. I've had it happen enough times now that I wasn't concerned at all. I was excited because it was cool, but I wasn't scared. I've had bears come up and brush against the blind. I've had them sit outside the blind and breathe and sniff at the side of the blind, trying to find me, trying to smell me. This sow came up. She almost put her nose in the blind. And then I think she caught just maybe a little bit of movement because I was panning the camera with her, and I think she got a little bit of my hand up there on the camera, and she took off. And she didn't come back. And that was fine. It was really cool. Now, on that bait, I had seen pictures of bears that were coming in the morning. So I did something I'd never done before. I went out for a morning hunt, my last day up there. I went out and hunted the morning because it was a little bit warm during the day, but cooler in the evenings. Didn't see anything at all. That was fine. In all, it was another great hunt. I will go back there next year. Spring or fall yet, I don't know. But as I say, I wasn't too concerned about shooting a bear because I've got a Michigan bear hunt coming up at the end of September up in the UP. In preparation for that yesterday, I went to the range at Duncan's Outdoor Shop in Bay City, and I sighted in my new AR, my 350 Legend from Brenton, USA. That's a beautiful gun. This will be the first time I've ever bear hunted with a gun. In fact, I haven't hunted many things with a gun. I love guns. I'm very comfortable with guns, but I realized that I am not knowledgeable on the AR platform. And I need to spend more time with that gun. We ran about 20 rounds through it. We started at 25 yards to see how it was, worked our way out to 200. That Brenton has a Leupold scope on it, a 1x5 scope, which will be fine for the youth hunt. It'll be fine for my Michigan bear hunt. But I think when it comes time to the Michigan deer season, I might put a little longer scope on it, because at 200 yards, when I would zoom that scope all the way in, I still couldn't get a good look at the target that I was shooting at. Man, I'm really excited about this. Really excited about spending more time with that gun, breaking it in, becoming more familiar with it, becoming more accurate with it. I mean, not that I was inaccurate. At 100 yards, the gun was dead on. I posted a video of that on my Facebook. I put it on Facebook, YouTube, a couple of other places as well. What else? Oh, so while I'm, let's see, I think I was home from White River. I'm texting my friend Brad Dupuis, Mr. AnglerQuest of AnglerQuest Boats, and we were talking about hunting. Actually, he said, "Oh, by the way, your boat's ready." I've been waiting for that boat all summer long. Now that my fishing season's over, the boat's ready. I hope. And what I don't know is, when he says it's ready, does that mean it's got a motor on it, or are we still taking the motor off the old boat and swapping them out? So I don't know the answer to that. But my point is, I'm real excited about getting out on Saginaw Bay and doing some perch fishing this fall. I can catch walleye. I can't catch perch. I don't know why. I don't know if it's, I don't know where to look. I don't know how to fish them. I don't have the touch for it or what. I don't know. But I want to spend some time out there on Saginaw Bay on that new AnglerQuest, chasing perch this fall. Listen, if you have any perch fishing tips, feel free to reach out, because I need all the help I can get. My email is mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. I'm not asking for coordinates, but give me some tips. Help a brother out, will you? Because I think perch fishing is a riot. It's a great thing to take people who are not hardcore anglers on. And I want to spend some time out there. What else? Next Wednesday, for Wednesday Night Live, Amy Trotter, Executive Director of MUCC, will be joining me to talk about issues of the day. I'm sure the Camp Grayling proposed expansion will come up. I'm sure we'll talk about the lack of progress on the consent decree negotiations and much more. That's next Wednesday night. I always do Wednesday Night Lives. Even last week when I was in White River, I did a Wednesday Night Live. That's on my various social media outlets. Speaking of social media, had an interesting interaction this past week. I posted a picture of a buddy of mine, Dave Sapansky, who shot a beautiful 305-pound boar up there in White River. I called it a boar. Some lady said, "I think you made a mistake. That's not a boar. That's a bear." Well, a boar is a male bear. And anyway, she said, "It's a shame to shoot that animal." Ooh, wrong choice of words. I will not allow my social media outlets to be used to demean or put down legal hunting in any method, in any manner, any shape, any form, but that's an entirely different conversation. Coming up on this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show after the break, Skeeter Beckman from Brenton, USA, Ed Roy of the Michigan Wildlife Council, and hour number 2, Jason Teddy, talking about Camp Grayling. Justin Tomei of MUCC, and then Jeff Poet and Dave Miner wrap it up in hour number 3. My website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com. My email address, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. We'll take a break. Lots more coming up right here on Outdoor Magazine. All righty. Have a good day, my friends. I've got to end this and move on to something else. Talk to you tonight, 7 o'clock, for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. Have a good day.